Hey, beautiful teachers, welcome to our final day of our Vibrant Music Teaching's 7th birthday celebrations. This is the actual birthday, so this whole week has been a lead up to it. We've got another present open. There's a blue one right behind me, wrapped kind of in the shape of a cracker, sort of like a Christmas cracker, not a cracker that you eat. Christmas cracker. There's a special surprise, not really present, but surprise opening thing behind that. You can tell I'm at my best elocution today. We've got cake to blow out the candles on later, but it's actually an apple strudel because why not? And we're discussing burnout and how to keep the teaching spark alive. All this week we've been inspired by the 7 natural wonders of the world, and today we have the Aurora Borealis, aka the Northern Lights. Fun story. I almost planned a trip to go try and see the Northern Lights in Iceland this year, but then I realised I'd been accepted to the Australian conference and that was a big enough trip because I was trying to go to Iceland around last Easter, but then I realised I was going to Australia and the States in July, so I planned Bali before that, which was also beautiful. But I nearly was like, no, this is the year, I'm going to see them. And then I didn't. Someday I will get to see them, hopefully. And to see the beautiful country that is Iceland, regardless of whether the Northern Lights show up. But it's inspiring us to talk about our teaching spark. So tell me, how do you keep your teaching spark alive? Especially if you've been through many years of teaching, but even if you're right at the beginning, it can be really overwhelming and hard in the beginning. And it can be easy to burn out. And there's many reasons people might burn out from teaching. But basically it comes down to something getting in the way of your love of teaching and piano or music, or you losing that for some reason. So what is it for you that keeps things going? For me, there's 2 kinds of burnout. There's jaded burnout, as I'll call it, and overachieving burnout. And I'm going to guess that the people here today are more likely to be guilty of the second. But I do see the other one around plenty. I don't think it's that it's less frequent in the teaching world. I just think that people who show up to a channel called Colourful Keys are more likely in the second one. So the first camp, the jaded burnout, is usually caused by becoming complacent in how we're teaching, so that is not driving our desire to teach, and then directing our attention towards, oh, well, I'm also not making a ton of money, and all these things kind of pile up, and they just get jaded with it, and they get lulled into, well, I'm just going to put in the minimum amount of effort, right? There's a YouTuber I follow called, sometimes watch his videos, called Ali Abdal. If anyone knows him, give me a shout out in the comments. But he was a doctor and he's now a full-time YouTuber. But he talks about his beginning years being a doctor and how he gradually learned that the way to get through these epic long doctor shifts and the extreme pressure and everything was not to check out, as you might initially think. You'd think, oh, everything's working against me, I'm just going to do the minimum amount possible in this job. But actually that left him more tired. And when he started engaging more and really participating during work, that's when he got some of his outside energy back, which I think is somewhat counterintuitive, but also makes sense, right? I always find that the more I put into teaching, the more I get out of it. If I'm in a season where I feel like I'm not putting in the maximum effort, like, you know, plans are kind of last minute, or I do the easier option rather than whatever the more difficult option is. Not that we always have to do the more difficult thing, but that's just an example. At those times are when I'm less enthusiastic like it's self-perpetuating, right? We're not as enthusiastic about teaching, so we don't put in the effort. So we're less enthusiastic about teaching because we haven't put in the effort. So that's the jaded version. Now, the second part is the one I think is more likely could be a problem for some of us, which is the overachieving. So those teachers who, as we talked about the other day, collect underpants, those teachers who collect too many ideas and are constantly trying to do everything, that can lead to burnout as well. We have to find this balance, right? We have to find the balance between just not caring and checking out and doing the minimum, and not going too far into, well, I have to do absolutely everything and my whole life has to be teaching, because there's a point at which that's no longer tenable either. So we have to find the middle ground, which is why I always talk about J. right? Just do one thing. Because we just need to do one thing at a time and sustain that sort of pace at some kind of a regular pace anyway, so that we feel energized about teaching on the long term. And this, if you haven't seen this already, because I did mention it on Instagram once, is my 20th year of teaching, I've worked out. So it's been a while, and I'm more in love with teaching than ever, but it does come in ups and downs, and I think that's where a community can be really helpful with that. Lots of thoughts about burnout and how to avoid it coming in the chat. Take more breaks, time off than I used to. Always end up looking forward to starting again after the break. Yes, absolutely. I think the biggest mistake when it comes to breaks often is not taking enough. Like teachers, I know I've talked to teachers who literally work year round. And it just doesn't work. Like long term, it doesn't work. I absolutely believe we can all run the studios the way we want to run them. But in my experience dealing with lots of teachers, it doesn't work for very long. And it especially doesn't work when you say, well, I'll just take a break when I need it. I think they need to be set, because otherwise us teacher types tend to be the kinds of people who will just push and think, well, yeah, I can do a little bit more. I can do a little bit more. I could take another student. I can take one more week. Until you can't take anything. So, yeah, more breaks, and they need to be long enough, in my opinion. Like, this is outside of teaching, but I talk to a lot of business owners who will say, oh, I'm just, I'm running out of energy for my business and whatever. And I'll say, oh, well, what always helps me is time off. And they say, yeah, well, I took a long weekend, but I just thought about business the whole time. And that's actually the trick to it. A long weekend, well, it's great if you're in a normal pace. If you need a reset, it's not enough time. I think it has to be at least a week, and ideally 2 weeks, that you step away from your business completely so that you can actually learn how to switch off your teacher brain. If you love what you do, it does help for sure. Try to be active and exercising. Yes, absolutely. But that's again about balance with other stuff in our lives, right? And making sure we have hobbies. There's a damning quote. It's not going to be a quote because I'm not going to quote it correctly. Years ago, I listened to a podcast and I can't remember his name. Anyway, this guy was on and he said, so he was talking about working, normal working hours as a business owner. And he said, if when you take 2 days off, you can't come up with anything to do and you end up just working or like wanting to get back to work, there's not enough in your life. Like, he was quite harsh about it, but it is kind of true. And that's something I've had to reckon with over the years and get better balance between. And I do think when you're in the first few years of starting a business, or starting a new big project, it does take more babysitting and you may have it on your mind more than is ideal. But over time, you do have to find other things to care about as well, so that you have this fresh energy for your teaching or for your business. Keep working on my own music. That's a great one, Kim. Seeing my own learning challenges helps me understand my students' learning. Absolutely. Vacation without office work. Yeah. Otherwise known as a vacation. I think it's only teachers who are like, no, a vacation, but without the office work. It's so funny. I went hardcore camping this year. Okay, cool. No phone, no laptop, just actual physical books. That's amazing. Oh, cool. That's fun. Taking piano lessons keeps the spark lit for sure. Lisa, great to see you. I'm trying hard this year to have stricter boundaries around the hours of the day that I will and won't do work, email, admin related tasks. Yes, definitely helps. For me, a hard cut-off time is useful. I'm more flexible earlier in the day, but there has to be a time in the evening when work is no more. Trying new ideas, for sure, like we talked about yesterday. 2 days ago. Need to have a plan, need to come up with new creative ideas. Then I need to make sure I don't overschedule myself. Yes. And get the exercise in. Currently, it's listening to a series of music history lectures that is going through different musical periods and is inspiring me so much. Oh, I love that. Exercise, eating nourishing foods, getting good sleep. Yeah, all the basic stuff we know we're supposed to do, but yeah. We have to find that balance to be able to fit that stuff in, right? Lots of people taking lessons themselves, which I love. Finding new music. Thank you, Carrie. So fun. Yes, everyone should say J. to themselves every day, especially when you're feeling overwhelmed. Oh my gosh, fantastic thoughts. So much wisdom here. I love it. Back to painting, not think about anything else and maybe catch up on my piano. Solo practicing. Yes. Painting's a great one. For me, it's generally sewing or something crafty. Crochet, different random crafty things, like putting together photo books and stuff. Because you engage your hands, like you keep yourself busy. This is only for certain people, of course. Some people can just sit there and relax, but I relax better if I have something to do. And that'll help me kind of switch off my brain, let it wander, and have more fun with it. Talking with and hearing from other teachers. Isn't that the truth, Jill? I feel that one. So we've mentioned lots of things. For me, it boils down to 3 main things that tend to help people. Fresh inspiration, so new ideas, fresh stuff. Enough fresh stuff, but not too much. Time off, as in actual breaks during the day and regular, weekends off and that kind of thing. Days off in the week. And then time away, which is separate to me, which is a vacation, an actual one. Now, it doesn't have to be somewhere else. It does make it easier when it's somewhere else, but, budget doesn't allow, you can absolutely just put away your studio stuff or close the studio door for a certain vacation period and actually not do anything to do with teaching. It takes some discipline over the first few days, but you'll find, this happens to me every year, I have to say, around Christmas. So every year, and this is my kind of resolution from last year, is I've got it marked on my calendar, being more clear with myself around this boundary. But every year I get close to Christmas break, because teaching runs here so close to Christmas. Like I have to run almost right up to Christmas in order to take the correct break that aligns with the school holidays and comes back on time in January. So you're going. And every time the first day, like the 23rd or whatever it is, I'll not be able to take the day off. Like I'm trying to, but I don't manage it usually to take the complete day off. Like I still check this or that or do a little bit on that project or whatever. And I don't do that with my other breaks. Like I am pretty good at gradually scaling things down and stopping on time. But yeah, Christmas break, that's the one I'm working on. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to stay away for the whole Christmas break. And then it gets to like Stephen's Day, Boxing Day, whatever you want to call it. And 26th, I'm like, oh, no way am I going back until the end of this break. Like those first few days are like a transition sometimes. And then suddenly you're actually in vacation mode. So it can take a little bit of work. Okay, I'm going to do our cake and candles next. And then I'm going to choose our winner of our present and make our special announcement after that. So if you haven't commented yet, you definitely want to, because then you're in with a shout of winning. I'm going to light the candles. Hopefully it's going to work. I'm going to put on our birthday music for that. Okay, we have our lit candles. It takes longer when you have 7 candles to light. Imagine that. Okay, so you can choose to make a wish. Everyone is welcome to make a wish together with me. It can be about teaching. It can be about anything. Let's just enjoy our wish time. I'm going to blow out the candles. You ready? I don't know if you can see the smoke. You can't really on the camera, but there was a big cloud of smoke there. So for those who weren't here at the very start, that is an apple strudel made with apples from our garden instead of a birthday cake, because we had a lot of apples. We have a miniature apple tree, and honestly, it produces so many apples. It's kind of bonkers. I don't understand how it makes so many. Like, it's so small. It's like as high as me. I mean, it has branches that come up, but like the actual tree is like to here. It has branches that come out. It's a producer, let me tell you. So, 3 cheers, absolutely, Rachel. And we're going to enjoy the apple strudel later. I've got a little bit of a break before I go back to teaching after this. So I'm looking forward to that. And it'll taste like apple, even though it's a little bit ugly and misformed, but that's fine. Should have seen the other one. Should have seen the pieces I didn't use for this. They are something to behold. Okay, so, well, thank you, Elaine. I'm glad it looks yummy. The apple strudel, I won't keep talking about baking for too long, I promise. But the apple strudel, you like make it as a roll and then you cut it in half so that you can place them on a baking sheet because it's quite long. So it's like a log thing, and you cut it in the middle and put them side by side. And the other half, like this is a slice from the better looking half, but the other half, like the top of it just exploded. I mean, it's very funny looking, but it'll still taste like apples and be perfectly delicious. I agree. Okay, I'm going to draw our winner for our final prize, which is the blue one. Best of luck to everyone. If I do draw someone I've drawn before, I will draw again. But there's plenty of people here who... Ta-da! Carrie! Carrie is the winner for today. Let's look at what you're going to win, Carrie. What do people think it is? Any guesses? I think this one is guessable if you look closely. Congratulations, Carrie. Just give me a Yahoo in the chat so I know you're still here. I need my scissors for this one. Oh my gosh. I tied that super tight. Fun fact, I didn't use any tape when I wrapped these presents. Just the ribbon, which is why it's tied so tight in this case. I love baking too. I did a lot of it in lockdown to like calm my very stressed brain. And I don't do it as much at the moment, but every time I do, I'm like, why don't I do this? This is great. So relaxing. Good Yahoo, well done. Okay, let's see what you got. Here we go. Da-da-da-da! mug. So congratulations, Cara, you have won a beautiful mug that you can drink your favorite beverages from. Tea, coffee, lemonade, water, whatever you enjoy. Sorry. My mind, I went to like an infomercial situation. You're welcome. We'll get that on the way to you. Just email us, support@vibrantmusicteaching.com to let me know your up-to-date address. Make sure we don't send it to somewhere you no longer are. So, I'm going to make our big announcement in 1 second. Before I do that, I want to take a moment to say thank you to everyone, to the whole community, to all the teachers who are so wonderful, but especially to those teachers who have been with us from the very start. So I'm not going to name any names because I don't want to embarrass anyone. And I don't want to just list off a whole bunch of names. But you know who you are. There are members in Vibrant Music Teaching who have been flamingos since day 1 or day 2. So for the past 7 years. I appreciate you all so much. I appreciate every flamingo, even the newest, most fledgling ones. But those teachers who joined right on day 1, extra appreciation out to you because, I mean, you had no idea what you were signing up for in a way. You did know you were signing up for games, but it's become so much more than that, and you've stuck with us. And I'm just so grateful that you've been with us so long and given so much support to the community. So, we're going to open the final present, the secret present that is wrapped in white. No one's going to guess what's in here, but I will shake it anyway because that's fun. It's good sound. Okay, I'm just being goofy now. This box, by the way, those of you who know I had a bridal wear company a long time ago. If you look very closely, let's see if you can see it in the camera. Yeah, you can. I wrapped over it, but if you look very closely, you can see it says, "You're Something New," which was the name of my bridal wear brand, and these boxes were for veils. So, I've reused one for this. You ready? This is the fun part. Even more of it. Imagine that was the only surprise. It's just Monopoly money. No, this is the real surprise. What is that? It says, in case you can't read it, Epic Clip Contest, $1,000, sponsored by Vivid Practice and Vibrant Music Teaching. So this is the golden ticket. This is a new contest that we're running. It starts today. It's opening from today. And it is at vibrantmusicteaching.com/epic is the place to enter. But you are going to need to prepare before you enter. It's called the Epic Clip Contest because we're challenging you to submit clips of your teaching videos of your lessons, short ones. We've specified that they're under 10 minutes on the submission form. So you submit them there, and then we will close the entries for that on October 31st. And then on November 6th, we're going to post all of those videos on a new YouTube channel so that everyone can see them and can view them. We will monitor the comments carefully, and obviously there will be no negativity allowed there. But it is going to be a new place for us to showcase all different types of teachers teaching all different types of lessons. And then on the 7th, the next day, on November 7th, we're going to be announcing 3 winners. 1 prize winner, top winner, and 2 runners-up. The prize winner is going to win what I just said there, $1,000. Not in Monopoly money, not this. $1,000. That's the prize. That's how much I want you to record your lessons, watch them, and contribute them to the community. So we're literally putting our money where I have been rabbiting on for a long time. I can't force you to record your teaching, but I hope this will be an extra incentive to do it now, because I know there are a lot of you who want to do this, who really think, I get it, I understand why it would be so valuable, but maybe next week, because it does have a big barrier to getting started. And I know that from doing it myself years ago when I first started recording videos of my teaching, watching them, criticizing myself, improving. But I hope this will be your push to get going with it, and that you will keep doing it for a long time after this, because once you get the bug, this is the best way to improve your teaching. I truly believe that. Even better than joining Vibrant Music Teaching, and I really believe in our site and all the resources we provide. But the best thing you can do to get better as a teacher overall is record videos of yourself and watch them. So you're going to have to watch them in order to choose your clip. We are not looking for clips of the best teaching in the whole world with students who are perfect. That's not what I want at all. If you happen to have one of those and that's what happens in your lesson, fine. But the prize winner is not going to be the best clip. It's going to be randomly drawn from all the people who are eligible. Okay, so it's totally fair. If you're a brand new teacher, you're still able to enter. You're still just as likely to be able to win. You can enter a few times. Again, all the details are on the form entry page. You can enter a few times. And you have to be obviously okay with us posting the video on YouTube, on our YouTube channel on November 6th, and leaving it up there as a resource for other teachers to enjoy. So something a bit different. I hope you're excited. I am so excited. I hope you will really think about submitting something. You could win $1,000. You'll also become a better teacher. I mean, what do you have to lose? So if you have any questions about recording your teaching or anything that would hold you back from taking part in this, if you have them right now, let me know now. Otherwise, feel free to email us, hit me up on social media, whatever support you need to get going with this. You do have 6 weeks to submit, but you need to get going soon, because you might not be so happy. The first few times you record, you're going to be a bit more self-conscious about the fact that the camera is there, right? So you need a little bit of a runway. So start recording now, and the first few ones, maybe you don't even watch them. And then the next few, you do watch them, but you're not quite happy with the perfect 5 minutes that you want to submit. Not that it has to be perfect, but your version of what you want to represent. We welcome clips that showcase all different types of teaching. So whether it's a reading exercise you're doing, whether you're improvising together, whatever you're teaching, it's fine. Whoever you're teaching is fine. You do have to submit a relevant photo permission or the special video release form that we provide for you on the page. So we have one there if you don't already have forms in your studio. You have to submit it with permission from the student or parent. Obviously the student if they're over 18, or the parent if they're not, because obviously we need to know that they agreed to this. They agreed to having the video of their lesson. 5 to 10 minutes, Sarah. So not too long, not too short. We want a little chunk of a lesson. I don't want a whole lesson because it's just too much for people to watch. And it tends to then showcase a whole bunch of other different things. But it can show anything within the lesson. It can be a movement activity you do. It can be, as I say, them reading a piece and you working on it with them. Anything you think might be interesting to other teachers. It doesn't have to be the most spectacular idea there's ever been. It can be you playing a game with them. I mean, it can be any portion of the lesson that you're happy that you have the permission from the student or parent to submit that, and that you feel it showcases something interesting. There's a space on the form to tick what topic, what type of teaching is in the video, so that we can then tag that. So hopefully it'll be a little bit more searchable, and we can create playlists on the new YouTube channel of all the videos that have whatever, improvisation, scales, whatever. Group is fine. Yeah, it can be a group for sure. What we don't want, I guess, is just a student performance. That's not going to be eligible. It has to show actual teaching. But as long as there's an actual teaching moment in that, that's great. The only things I don't want are just a performance, or something where the student clearly learned it before and now you're just pretending to teach it again. And if you've seen videos or particularly in-person examples like this, you'll know what I'm talking about. But I don't want that. I want real lessons. That's what, like way back, what year did I start doing that? I don't remember. But I started a long time ago posting clips of my lessons on the YouTube channel and then in the community. And they just show clips of real lessons. And like sometimes students don't understand what I'm talking about because I said it wrong. Or sometimes they have a different reaction than you expect. And it just shows the real moments of lessons. Because that's what I think is still somewhat missing. We've gotten better as a teaching community about having more open doors. It feels a lot less closed than when I first started teaching 20 years ago, where I felt like I had no idea what any other teacher was doing, except the ones I'd personally had as a student. Now I do feel like we get some insight into different studios, and that's wonderful. I still think we could have more examples, so that when a teacher does feel like, oh, am I doing this right? Or I'm not sure that was the best way to word things or cover that, or I'm not sure how to approach this at all, especially new teachers, they have somewhere to go where they can watch different types of teachers from different parts of the world and how they do it. And none of them are wrong or perfect. They're just real. Yeah, you could do that. You can use the money for whatever you want. So for the nitty gritty, it is going to be in the form of a Visa gift card so that you can use it, you know, wherever for whatever, but it's still secure to send to you, obviously. So we wanted to do it like that as well, because if it was actual money that just got transferred to your account, you would just spend it on whatever and it would just go into the general fund. And I want you to have this set aside so that you spend it on something meaningful for you, for your business or for you, doesn't matter. You can use it to purchase a new digital piano as your secondary instrument. I mean, $1,000 is enough to do that and have a little bit left over. You could use it for you to take an amazing spa weekend. Like, it's entirely up to you. You can share with me what you do with it or not. But there will be one winner. And it could be you. That's what they always say on the lottery. But really, it could be anyone. Because it's going to be randomly drawn from all the eligible submissions. So if we were able to post it on the YouTube channel, you are eligible to win. If we are not, because the clip is too short or too long, doesn't include teaching, or doesn't have a permission form, then obviously that entry is not eligible. You could use it to attend the in-person teacher tour. You could use it to come to the Keys and Trees retreat. But I'm not going to tell you to do that because that's like giving the money back to us. That's the same thing you said, Janelle. You're hilarious. These will be so fun to watch. Yeah, that's why I can't wait. Like, I'm proud to be able to do this, hopefully for the community. It's a community effort. Hopefully us sponsoring it will mean that we can put these videos out there and we can all learn from each other. And that's what I believe in. There's no one right way to teach. My way isn't the only way. It's just one good way. I hope it's a good way, but that's all I'm aiming for. There are some wrong ways, but there's just thousands of right ways, and we need to see more examples of them. So I'm doing this so that we all get to watch the videos, so that you record your teaching and watch it. That's my number one. And so that we all get to feel, okay, I'm in the mix. I'm doing something right. I'm not alone in this, right? I have colleagues all over the world. Keeping it real. Yeah. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that epic announcement. I hope you'll start thinking about your video setup. Doesn't need to be fancy. It can be your phone. An old phone tends to work well because you might want to use your phone in lessons and then that gets complicated. But just your phone set up in something stable. I have an Instagram video going out about this soon if you need help with that stuff that just shows some basics, but it can be put in a cup. This cup probably isn't big enough, is it? It is just about for an iPhone mini. See, you could just put it in your VMT cup and that's stable. And you just leave it recording. It doesn't have to be fancy. We just need to be able to see what's going on. So ideally the window is, you know, behind the camera. We all learned a lot of this stuff when we were doing online lessons, right? You need to be able to see clearly, but it doesn't have to be fancy. We need to be able to hear clearly, but again, it doesn't have to be the top quality, amazing thing. Just audible, we can hear what's going on. We can hear what they're playing on the piano and what people are saying. So, again, if you need more help or you have questions about it, please ask us. You can email us at our support email address, support@vibrantmusicteaching.com, or you can come find me and message me on Instagram or message the team through Facebook Messenger, whatever you prefer as your mode of contact, and we'll be happy to help. You have about 6 weeks starting from today, so get thinking about it, get your setup going, and start just recording all your lessons. That's my main piece of advice, is don't try and pick in advance. Don't think, oh, this lesson's going to be amazing, so I'm going to set up my phone. And then, something goes wrong in that one lesson, like the student needs to use the bathroom halfway through the task, and you feel like, well, that's not good enough now. No, just record all your lessons, because then you will learn about yourself as a teacher, and you can pick out some clip that has a fun bit in it. Okay. So get the brains whirring. Happy birthday again to VMT. Congratulations again to today's winner, Carrie. Let us know what address you want us to send the mug to, and we'll get it right over to you. I did say that you can submit more than one clip. Yes, not infinite. The number is on the page's details are all there. So check the page again. That's vibrantmusicteaching.com/epic. I'm looking forward to seeing all of your clips. Thank you for joining me for today's video. Thank you for being a part of the VMT and Vivid Practice community. And I'll talk to you all soon.